So new boat are basics, right? Person goes out, family goes out and buys a new boat. Typically, if you buy it from a dealer, they're gonna run you through that, and they're gonna make sure you're equipped and everything if
You
you're
have
new to
all the
boating.
equipment, right.
Right. Probably a safe boating course, right? Would you recommend
Oh,
that?
absolutely, yeah. And there's so many of them, especially in today's age, when you can go online and various TowBoatUS office, Power Squadron, Coast Guard Auxiliary, there's so many different avenues you could go to get a safe boating course without paying. They're all free.
Yeah, and that's a quick course, right? That's not something that's gonna,
Just
you're not gonna have to study a whole lot for that course, right?
Right, basic stuff. It's a 4-hour course, stuff like that. You can take it online in leisure, you know, you can even stop taking the course and continue the next day, you know, follow up and then, you know, finish it. But you don't have to, it's not, it's so simple to do.
And things have changed, right? A guy might say, well, I boated as a kid. I used to go with my dad all the time 30, 40 years ago. So he comes upon some dough, he buys a nice fast boat, and I don't need that. Yeah, you do, right? How do you read a GPS? How do you read a chart? How are you able to tell Clint Allen where you are?
Right.
The
And that's
basics.
the most important. And at the end, a lot of people do not know how to use their their GPS. And I suppose, I mean, even if you're not privy to the computers or you're not computer literate, it's very easy to go into the manual and learn the basics.
Right.
You need to know your position. That's the most important part. There's routes, there's all kinds of features that GPS you can do on it. You don't need a lot of that.
Yeah, and
All you need to know is where your position is.
Yeah, there are a lot of features. on
Yes,
those
and you don't
GPSs.
need them all. We don't use them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm not saying that you can't use them, but you don't need them. You basically need to know how to plot a course to go from A to B and know your position when you need to know it.
And how about this? You talk about this all the time. Check the weather. Oh, I didn't know we were going to have squalls or
That's my
thunderstorms,
favorite,
right?
Yeah. Or I didn't know it was going to be windy is my favorite.
So many apps. There's the BoatUS app is a great one
Yeah.
for
Has
weather.
your
and-
local weather right on it,
Yeah.
sure. But we hear it all the time, you know, oh, gee, I didn't know it was going to be this windy. Like, how did you not know? You know, you've got to check the weather before you go boating. You want to keep your family safe.
Yeah.
And I've told you this before, all the years when I was a beginner and we all started somewheres, I never put my family in danger.
Yeah.
Looked at the weather, looked at the weather forecast. If it was going to be thunderstorms in the afternoon, which pick up sometimes at 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, get home before then. Don't wait until they appear. And sometimes you get caught, you can't help it. But if you can look at the weather ahead of time and know what's going to happen that day, get yourself home before the event happens.
Pre-departure checklist. And again, we've talked about this. You don't have to come out and like, okay, folks, here's the clipboard. Number 1, wife, what is this? Son, how are we looking? Have a basic, even if it's sort of mental checklist in your mind. Let me check a few things before we get underway, right?
Right. Your fuel, a lot of you can forget to fuel your boat up. So I used to always, the towboats are a different story, but when I had my personal boat, we never went to the vineyard. I just fill it up before we go, the night before or whatever. Always. It was always full. You didn't take that chance to say, you know, I'm going to go to the vineyard. Well, what happens a lot of times, too, is you only plan on fishing, for example. I remember one time I had like an 18-foot center console, and I usually stayed around Paid Narum. But this day I was chasing the pogies, and the next thing I know, I was at Quick's Hole.
Yeah.
Miles and miles away, but I kept following the birds.
Right.
And the next thing I know, I look at them at Quick's Hole. I made it back safely, but
night could fall, and if you're not prepared for nothing, be prepared for night boating, even if you're going out during the day, because things can happen.
Right before you, right while you don't even realize it. Now I'm 9 miles away from my port, and geez, I didn't fill the boat up. So I always kept my tank full. I think somebody, you should do that. And a lot of people don't. They'll go, well, I ran out of, how did you run out of gas?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I don't know.
So another thing is life jackets, right? PFDs. So look, officially, everyone should wear one at all times.
Right.
Let's be real, doesn't happen, you know?
No.
But at least know where they are.
Right.
And let your guests aboard know how to get to them and
Mm-hmm.
where they are, right?
Right, and that's part of that pre-departure checklist
Right.
you talked about. So at least say, hey, if we need them, guys, they're right down below in the cabin.
And if you're not a boater and unfamiliar with how to put them on, just take one, and try it on, and, you know, I'd say 20% of the people I see out there have their life jackets on all the time. Would you say the same? Unless you're in the business, in the industry, and you're
Yeah,
out there.
but you're right. The average recreational boater, maybe 10, 20%
Yeah.
you'll see with them, you know?
Yeah.
And those 20% are doing the right thing. They're so lightweight nowadays. Like, we wear the inflatable ones
Yep.
and the vest style. They're very, they're a little bit, at the end of the day, they are a little bit uncomfortable around
Yeah.
the neck area. But I'll tell you what, man, I hardly even know I have it on.
For you, it must be like, you know, sitting in a car to drive and not fastening your seatbelt to be out there on a boat without a life jacket, right?
There's sometimes, like, I'll go to help one of the captains, and I'll run down real quick and jump on the boat with him to do something right in the harbor. And I forgot my life jacket. And
Yeah.
If you feel like naked without it,
Yeah.
I'm so used to wearing it. It's second nature. But the day you fall in the water, this morning, I was scrolling around and I saw the local news. I guess a fella died in Fall River yesterday morning. No life jacket.
No life jacket.
Yeah, two brothers, and one survived, the other one didn't.
Terrible stories.
Horrible and easily preventable. You know?
Right.
So it takes a story like that for you to think about it, but then they go out boating and you see them, no life jackets.
Yeah.
They're lightweight, man. Put them on.
All right, Cap, then there was the no anchor people of the season, which we talk all the time. Anchor, 2 anchors good, 1 anchor's okay, no anchors is
No good.
insanity, right?
And
So,
yet we've had it twice already in this early season.
so a person's out there new to boating. First of all, you know, they have the typical issue which is not being able to tell you where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get in touch with them, and then they give you and you say, drop your anchor, Cap, your anchor in, and they say, we don't have an anchor. What do you do then? That's insanity, right?
Right. And then it drops the burden on us because we're rushing, and sometimes the weather doesn't allow it, but we're trying to go there as fast as we can, and the weather's slowing us down, the wave action, and just we can't get there. But it almost feels like it's our responsibility, or they're making it our, I'm dragging it, all right, I have no anchor, I'm going
Bring me
towards
an
the
anchor.
rocks. Yeah, it's like, geez, Cap, I don't know we'll get there as quickly as we can, but what are you thinking? It's like,
So then, knowing the navigational skills, knowing the basics of that GPS. I mean, GPS is now a road. If you're out there without a GPS, you're insane.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason, no matter what size boat you're on, even having your phone and the GPS is just a smart move, right? So knowing how to read that and knowing the basics on navigational skills, right, is important for a new boater, for all boaters. A refresher wouldn't hurt
right.
most boaters, right?
Yeah, they definitely should take a course. Like I said, they're online, readily available.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing your position is the most important. And we find it a lot. We'll call them and ask them. What I have them do if they don't know how to run the machine, there's so many machines on the market. If it's a Garmin, which we use, I can maybe walk you through it. But the easiest thing I find is I tell them, you have a smartphone? Yes, I do. I said, download the TowBoatUS app, and I'll call you
it's the
back.
best.
It takes 5 minutes. I call them back. Did you download? Yeah. I said, okay, now press the gear on the bottom right-hand corner, and your position will come
And
up.
that's amazing.
And then I can
Yeah.
get them quickly.
The best way to get you, I mean, you can try the cell phone, you can do the cell phone, but the better way is to hail on the channel 16, right? Because now other boaters, if you're in a real dire
In
situation,
distress, right.
in distress, now other boaters hear that call as well, and they may be able to get to you and assist before a towboat can.
Right. And a lot of people don't have radios either.
No,
So
that's
that's not a good thing, and we do tell them that. Oh, I have my cell phone, right? Cell phone doesn't work everywhere. There are dead zones, quite a bit of them in Buzzards Bay where we boat. Several, there are about 5 or 6 of them. So you're right, VHF radio, you call for help, everybody can hear. And it could be someone right next to you that can assist you.
And you can buy a handheld radio for short money, right?
Yeah,
You get
yeah.
that charged up.
$100, yeah.
$100. Again, these are things, first of all, the TowBoatUS membership, you're crazy not to be out there without it. $100, and that's, you can buy that on specials for about $100, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you're in
yeah,
that.
they go on sale quite often.
Yeah. And we always keep people informed as to when they're on sale and the best times to get it. $100 for a handheld VHF radio, best
Yeah.
investment you can make. And of course, download that BoatUS app.
Yeah, the app's nice, like you said, it gives you weather, location is, I think, the most important part of it. And at the end, if someone doesn't know how to use their GPS, I don't, I kind of scold them at the end and tell them, let's
That
just.
Captain Clint
Well,
scolding
you gotta,
in a
though.
nice way. Hey,
Right.
Cap.
Yeah, well, I tell them, because let's just say that this wasn't just broken down and the
Yeah.
engine won't start. Supposing someone was having a medical issue on the boat.
Right.
How would you feel
Right.
if your loved one died because you
Yeah.
didn't know where you were?
And that happens all the time. You
Yeah.
get terrible stories.
So now
about
when
it.
you scold them like that.
You get that gym teacher way about you.
Yeah,
You get kind of a
yeah,
gym
yeah,
teacher
yeah.
look about you too, Cap. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tell you, kid. Here's how you play that position.
Yeah, man, you gotta know your position. I said, if someone's having a heart attack.
Yeah.
And they die because you didn't know where you were, that's gonna haunt you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Learn how to use your GPS. And then I think that, like, when they get home, oh yeah, man, I gotta learn how to use this thing. Get the owner's manual out, whatever,
Yeah, and then respect the waterways. Like I'll give you an example. We were at our marina a little while ago, and these jet skiers came whipping in and created a wake and a half. Every guy got off his boat and everyone was waving at the guy. Like, what are you doing? That creates havoc
Right.
in a marina.
Right.
So his excuse for it all was he was running out of gas and he had to get in quickly.
Right, so I'm gonna go full throttle.
That's smart, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't wash
Good
with the
plan.
guys, but that's one way to not make friends or influence people, is to be that guy.
And you are, I guess technically, I don't see it happen much, but you are responsible for your wake.
Right.
So if someone fell off that dock or fell off in their boat and broke their arm.
Sure.
I guess you are responsible, but chasing them down is another thing.
And just adhere to those regulations. Just look at those little, know buoys, know what buoys mean. Read the signage, read the buoys. Be responsible. It's nothing like, there's nothing geeky about being that guy. Some people feel like, I'm a checklist, and I don't want to be seen with life jackets on my boats and going through a checklist.
It is, it's a
Yeah,
funny,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
funny culture for sure.
Yeah.
And it's the only hobby you can do without, if you ride a motorcycle, you have to have a license.
Yeah.
Fly an airplane, you need a license. You can buy a boat and just go.
Well, it's coming in Massachusetts, so we're working towards some regulations that will, require that. And Randall Lyons from the MMTA is going to come on and talk about that. So they're making moves so that, I'm not a big license, I'm not a big regulations
No,
license
and I
guy,
don't like-
but I think it's needed at this
Less
point.
regulation, the better, sure, but there, definitely. And I also noticed too, the same thing, there's not insurance a lot. We run into a lot of boats that are uninsured.
Right.
So, that's not good. Same thing, you run into someone, have a collision with someone,
Yeah.
what happens?
And now the other guy's on the hook
Right, right.
for it.
Right, yeah, so I think that should be part of the law, like a automobile, you have to have insurance.
And then it's got to be enforced as well, which takes resources.
It's
and,
tough, because
you know,
they're
right?
all limited resource, the environmental police,
Yeah.
they can't, there's so little, a few of them, they can't be everywhere.
Right.
So, but that's another story. But if you can get the culture happening, you have to have your boat registered, you have to have your boat insured, and sooner or later, it'll be like an automobile. You don't put your
Yeah.
car on the road without registration and insurance, so.
How about knowing basic maintenance? I mean, knowing which end of the screwdriver goes into the screw and having some tools aboard. You can go to these discount stores and grab a toolbox of tools and just keep it on your boat.
Right.
You know, your basic
Basic
screw.
tools,
You don't have to go get Snap-on tools,
Mm-hmm.
but just, have some basic tools on your boat, some tape and things like
Right.
that. We'll do another podcast where we talk about that, with just like sort of what those items should be. But man, so many times a guy will come up to me and say, "Hey, do you have a screwdriver?"
You're right.
I go, "Do I have a screwdriver?"
Yeah, you should
You don't
definitely
have a
have a
screwdriver? You can get those
basic,
little
yeah.
multi-tools, and
Mhm.
you don't have a screwdriver on your boat?
Yeah, yeah, because they're minor little things
Yeah,
you
right,
could
of
correct.
course.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Screwdrivers, crescent wrench, duct tape. Duct tape solves a lot of problems.
Yeah, exactly, right? That's why they call it duct tape. Masking tape, not so much. Duct tape,
Yeah.
sure. And then there's obviously, stay sober. This is the biggest issue, I think, in boating. You see these guys out there that, you go, dude, because the same laws that apply, the same DUI laws that apply to automotive apply to boating, right? I mean,
Right.
they'll,
And
away
again,
you go.
because of the lack of environmental police and on the water, it's difficult to catch them, but you're right, that's a bad thing. In the sun, if you're out in the sun all
That's
day,
the whole
I'm
thing.
drained at the end of the day,
yeah.
and staying hydrated, and you're still drained. So you add alcohol to
And that's when you need that drink at the end of your days.
Right,
Some of
right.
these days, right?
Right.
Yeah,
A double.
Give me a double. Yeah, that's very important. Save that for
Yeah.
after,
Well,
or have you designated captain.
It's fine,
You know?
I guess you have a beer or two, with the designated
Yeah.
driver, the captain's sober, and you wanna have a beer or two, but you shouldn't be out there, completely bombed, and you see it, we've towed people, I mean, the whole gang of the boat, every single person on the boat is bombed.
Really?
It's just not good, yeah, many, many times. I've had instances where they're belligerent with
Mhm.
us, and, whatever, I don't like that.
Yeah, I'm sure
But-
you handle that all right.
Yeah, yeah. But I've had it. It happens, and it's like.
Have you ever had a situation like that where you just let them, you go, look, I'm not doing this so. I'm not, I'll call the state police or environmental police, but, you're in such a state that, or you're giving me enough guff that, I'm not going to tell you
Never
about.
not done it, but I've had one that I was close, and that's exactly what I told him. I said, "Hey, man, you called me. I'm here to help you."
Right.
And now you just. He was treating my wife the same thing on the telephone.
Yeah.
In the office. I happened to be the guy that went out to get him at night. He had left a local watering hole and was heading back home and
Yeah.
couldn't tell me where he was.
Yeah.
And what took you so long? Well, it took me
Yeah.
so long because you had to spend 45 minutes figuring out where you were.
Yeah.
But, oh yeah, he was awful.
Float plan. And again, don't need the checklist. You can find it on the TowBoatUS website. You can find the whole checklist for a float plan. You don't have to go through that and fill that out every time you go out. But let at least one person know, hey, I'm on the boat, I'm going out, and I'm going to be back around this time.
Right.
Great. And you provide that service as well, right? You can check in
I've
with,
got a couple offshore guys, when they go offshore, a couple different fellas, they do it, they'll call me,
Yeah.
tell me their game plan, the general area they're gonna go to, and the time they're supposed to be back.
right.
And it's great, because if something does go on, now the wife or loved one is, gee, you didn't come home, I've got the information.
And sometimes it's even if you're on a mooring or even in a slip. I'll do that with my wife. Sometimes if I'm just going down to the boat. She's at work and during the day I have to do something on the boat. Hey, I'm heading down to the boat. Just because you can slip getting onto your boat.
Absolutely.
And hey, where's John or where's Fred? I don't know. I
Absolutely.
haven't seen them around. And they
Yeah.
find the guy, unfortunately, it happens all the time, floating between the boat and the finger dock.
Yeah.
And he fell in and
You
couldn't get out.
don't know, because unless you try it, you jump in the water at your marina and try to get out up
Yeah.
onto the dock without
Not gonna happen.
assistance.
Yeah.
It's probably not gonna happen. I know it's not gonna happen with me. I'm too old. Maybe when I was.
Yeah, to have
in
that
my-
upper body strength to
Yeah,
pull
when I
up.
was in my 30s, probably, you might be able, but you're not gonna get out of the water alone.
Yeah.
So, and people don't realize that.
We should do that. We should do a video of that, a demo of that. That'd be an interesting demo.
I'm gonna get out because I'm
Right.
not gonna fail.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, you'd be
Yeah, and if there are
hard-pressed.
people around, it's one thing. If you're down at the marina on a Saturday and a Friday, but if you go down there on a Monday morning to check something and no one's around and you slip into the water, all you can do is yell, you know? And, you know, summertime it might be okay, but if it's winter and you're a year-round
Even
boater
you're done,
and that
right.
water's cold, I tell people all the time, I have commercial fishing friends who go out there and people who a couple of friends of mine decided to keep their boats in year-round, so they brought it into our protected harbor here in New Bedford, Mass, and kept it there through the winter. And one guy decided to live on it because of the apartment, frankly, because of the cost of apartments
pricing,
and
right.
houses. He's
Yeah.
like, hey, you know what? Why haul my boat? I'll get a slip in New Bedford Harbor
Can live on the boat.
and live on it all winter. The thing is, that water midwinter might as well be flames.
Right.
Think of that water as a fire. Because if you fall in it, you're
You're in
done.
big trouble.
Especially if you're coming home at night, you got a few in you, it's 1 in the morning, you're
Yeah.
walking down the dock in the middle of the winter and no one's around,
Big trouble.
you
yeah.
fall in, it's over. You're
Yeah.
done. No one's gonna hear you.
Yeah, you have to
know?
respect that because cold temperatures, you've got minutes. And honestly, in the back of my mind, as I've gotten older, I realize you're not going to get out of that. A guy fell in at our marina, fell in, and we saw it happen, and we helped him out. There was no way that man was getting out of there
Yeah.
alone. So had that happened after hours and no one was around, he would have died.
And the more you exert to
Yeah.
try to get out,
Yeah, so you have to, and everything in life, you gotta have a plan. So I know as I'm getting older, that's where I was starting to say, as I'm getting older, I know I can't lift myself up onto the float. So I know in my marina, where the ladder is. So don't waste any time or energy trying to get out, lifting yourself up. It's not gonna
yeah,
happen.
I'm trying to think, now that you say that, I'm trying to think, I don't even think we have a ladder in my marina.
Swim to the ladder.
I don't even think we have a ladder. I'd have to
Right.
swim to the little beach that is close, but right.
But make that move immediately.
Don't try to pull up.
Because you're wasting your energy.
Yeah,
And then you're gonna realize you can't do it. Now you try to make it to the ladder and you don't have the energy,
right.
so.
Yeah, and
Everything's
those,
a plan.
those are the worst stories.
Yeah,
You hear
yeah.
the guy who fell, and they find him, like, where is he? And then he's,
I found a fella years ago, I was a kid, I worked at North Atlantic Diesel, and the fisherman fell off the boat, managed to get himself into a truck tire that was a fender,
Wow.
hanging, and he was like this, curled up inside the tire, but I don't know if he didn't drown, because he was in the tire, I think he froze to death.
Wow.
It was awful.
Yeah,
But-
boating's a dangerous thing. It's recreational and it's fun, but there are also
A
dangers.
lot of danger to it.
Yeah,
And we don't want it to be that, we want it to
Right.
be fun,
of course.
yeah.
So leave us this time with your story of the season so far. Was it the no anchor guy? Was it and I think Timmy Cox told me that story. Some kid just bought a boat, first time with a boat, went out, no anchor, didn't know where it was.
The poor guy, and you gotta learn, but he wasn't so, it wasn't no anchor, so here's how it unfolded. My wife, I was out of the office and my wife called me, she's like, we got a guy out of gas. So I said, well, send Captain Mike around.
That's right, out of gas. Yeah.
So he was out of gas and he called back to speak with Rhonda and said, hey, my anchor's dragging. So she said, well, you let more line out, the more line you let out, the better your anchor will wrap. So, okay, and she said, the captain's on the way. So 2 minutes later, she calls me back, he lost his anchor. I said, what? She said, yeah, he was letting out more line and the anchor line went right through his hands. And now he has no anchor. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I met the captain at a loading ramp,
So wait, so the anchor wasn't tied to the boat?
was not tied.
I'm laughing, but that happens all the time.
Yes, and it's a lesson to be learned. So
Yeah.
you should never let that happen again.
Yeah.
You tie your anchor.
Tie your anchor first.
So now she calls me back. I rush down to the loading ramp, and the captain's coming around. I radio him and I said, "Pick me up at the ramp. You're not going to do this alone." He's heading towards the rocks. It was blowing pretty good. So we get on the boat. We, in no exaggeration, not trying to embellish the story, we got him about 15 feet from crashing on the rocks.
No kidding.
Yeah. So now we rescue him, and
Yeah.
it worked out. Timing's everything.
Yeah.
I said, "You learn a lesson, Cap?" Here's my today.
Yeah.
I gotta beat him up a little.
Yeah, here comes the gym coach.
I gotta beat him
You
up
know?
a little bit. You know? Did you learn a lesson today? He says, yeah, make sure your gas tank's full.
There you go.
I said,
And,
that's the only lesson?
yeah,
I said, make sure your anchor's tied.
tied.
Make sure you don't go out in this inclement weather that we're
Right.
in. You shouldn't even be out today.
Yeah,
You know, well, I just got the boat. You know, he had an answer for everything.
yeah.
I said, well, I hope you learned the lesson. I said, there's about 4 lessons, and I could
Yeah.
go on, probably more.
Yeah.
You know, but it all worked out good. Timing is everything. But that poor guy, he had an anchor, and it slipped through his hands.
All right, towboat captain Clint Allen, gym teacher Clint Allen. Always good to have you, man. We'll see you again.
All right, thank you. Yeah.
The Drift Podcast can be found at driftsociably.com or where all fine podcasts are heard.